Hello coaches, Ron Siliko here. What I wanted to do in this video demonstration was talk about how we cover the skip pass in the ball matchup zone. It's a tough move to cover. Skip passes, if they're made easily, what it usually means is there's not enough ball pressure and those passes are being able to be made quickly from one side of the floor to the other. As always, ball pressure is of paramount importance. There's no question about it. However, the skip passes are going to be made. It's a good zone tactic. If you work and communicate and cover for each other, you can cover this maneuver rather easily. Ball's on the wing. This is a scenario that we usually see. Ball's on one side of the floor. We've got a player on the wing, and we've got a player in the corner. It's a tough cover. We've got our one man covering the high post, our two man's on the ball, four man on the block, five in the middle, three's covering backside. Because, as we've talked about before, ball's on the side of the floor, so we're in a 2-3 alignment. So the ball gets skipped from the wing to wing. Well, we're still going to be in a 2-3 alignment, but our one man's got to go from the high post all the way out to the wing. If you expect that one player to get out there by himself, it's not going to happen. If this is a good pass, this person's going to have a wide open three-point shot. So, in a common maneuver in the zone defense is using the bump technique. This three-man is going to have to come out and cover while the one man is moving as fast as he can on air time to get to that shooter on the wing. Okay? What is important with the three-man bumping out? The three-man has to come out in a way that is on the outside shoulder of that person on the wing. Okay? And let me redraw this a little bit because we want to illustrate what really happens. Our one man has to kind of make a V cut to the paint and then come out. Reason for that is because of this three-man's bump. If he's coming out on the outside shoulder, this wing player may say, oh, I've got an easy lane to the basket. Well, if this one man has made this V cut properly, he's able to get right in front of that dribbler and contest it. If the one man comes out on a straight line, the defenders may get split. And you've got to work really hard not to allow your defense to be split. So that's the first part of covering the skip pass. And boy, it's really hard when they've got someone in the corner. Two things we do to try and help cover that. Okay? Now, as the ball's over on this side of the floor now, so let me illustrate that. Okay, our one man's on it, our two man's in the high post, five man's on the block, four's on the backside. Our five man has to be a really smart player and recognize that there's an overload situation. So that's the first part, because they may have to come out and temporarily cover until the three man can bump them off. Second part, which we just talked about a few moments ago, is this three man coming out to that outside shoulder needs to be big with hands to not allow that to be a direct line pass. If there has to be a lob to that corner or a bounce pass to that corner, that will allow that five man to help to get out in time. Defense has to recognize this and pinch in a little bit. So four is going to really have to cover. Five is going to have to really come out hard. And then once the three man comes down and covers, five man comes back to the block. Again, five man needs to have his arms up, be active. You cannot play this defense with your hands at your hips. You need to have your arms out, looking for deflections and watching the ball. If these moves can be done, you can cover this skip pass move very easily. Okay, let's flip sides of the floor with it. The maneuver is basically the same. In fact, it's exactly the same, but we'll just show you again for purposes. Now, in this situation, ball's on the wing. Our one man's here, three man's here, 5, 4, and 2. Okay? Same situation. Let's put a high post guy in here just to show how we have to pinch the middle and cover things. Ball gets skipped from wing to wing. Again, that four man's got to bump out, bumping on the outside shoulder. Two man makes that V cut, comes out to guard. Four man drops. Five's here. One man sprinting to cover the high post. Guards have to really work hard in this defense because you're moving from one side of the floor to the other. Three-man moving inside. And ball's here now. What's really a tough move to make is if the defense, if this 5-man's not moving on airtime, but he's kind of bumped out a little bit, you're opening the middle wide open. That 1-man's going to have a really tough time getting there. So the 5-man kind of has to split the difference between the two players. And then the key phrase again, as always, moving on airtime. As that ball's in the air, hopefully the 4-man's done a nice job being big, so there's a bounce pass or a nice lob pass that gives our defense time to recover rather than a direct straight line crisp pass. 5-man comes out, covering on the baseline shoulder. 4-man making a little V cut, dropping out. 3-man might have to cover this post area. 3-man's got to really be aware, and there might be people floating on the backside too. So our 3-man really has to have his head on a swivel looking for things. But that is how we cover the skip pass from wing to wing, one side of the floor to the other, while maintaining our 2-3 alignment.